Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm going to be talking about some changes I'd like to see in Pokemon TCG Pocket. I haven't really talked about this too much. I mean, of course, I'm a fan of the Pokemon TCG and playing the game, so I'd always like to see um, more just content, and that's true, I guess. It's not something I'm going to have as one of my points in the video, but more stuff is always welcome. But there are a few changes I would like to see in the game, or issues, I guess. This is a video about discussing issues and potential solutions, but the first one is Misty. I am going to I don't know if this is a complaint video. This is a bit more of a complaint video about Misty. I made one really analyzing it and talking about its card design, which I said was really bad. I said it was the worst card design I've ever seen, and I think that might be true. I can't really think of anything worse. I personally think Tropical Beach has bad design. I made a video a while ago talking about that, but that's for a very different reason, and also a really niche card that doesn't really hurt the game. It just kind of almost irrelevant a lot of the time. I can cause some issues in certain places, but whatever. And other bad card designs. Um, there's some old card designs that were really bad, some like really nasty, disruptive cards, and then some like weird controversial cards. And those are the only ones that I can think that rival the terrible game design of this card. It's a card that's super integral to the meta, or at least has been since the game's come out. It's not been the best card in the game, or really part of the best deck ever. I think, it's been part of like the second or third best deck, though. You had the Solar Articuno deck, which well, honestly wasn't really ever that good. But when people didn't have a lot of cards, it was pretty insane. When people, actually started to develop a bit more of a meta, Starmie EX plus Articuno EX was quite good with Misty. And yeah, Water has also had a lot of EXs, so that's partially why it's been so good. And then we've also seen the Gyarados EX deck be really good and more reliant on Misty. With Starmie EX, especially, Misty doesn't, change things all that much sometimes. I mean, sometimes it does, but not necessarily something you're reliant on, unlike with Gyarados EX or Palkia EX, it's like really good. We've seen Pokemon kind of push this high energy water style archetype, and Manaphy kind of smooths it out, which I do like. Misty's a card, though, I would not mind seeing just completely removed from the game. I know there are people who play it, and that's a really big that is an issue for those players, which I understand they're not just going to remove it from the game, but I would like to see them rework it. They could make it guarantee accelerate one energy, which makes it feel more fair. It makes it realistically better, which is like it's already quite good, so that might be a problem. If they want to keep the coin flip, I mean, I don't think there should be a coin flip aspect on cards that are so integral to the game, like Professor's Research or Pokeball don't really have that aspect. They do have a random aspect to them, but regardless, I would like to see Misty change. And I know I'm not alone on the fact that at least Misty's card design is bad. I was wondering when I made that video what the reception would be, if people would like agree some or like disagree some, and I was expecting some disagreement. And I didn't get any, I don't think. I think everyone was like, Misty's card design is really bad, and some people gave recommendations to fix it and things like that. But it's certainly not a card that I think is well designed. I'm pretty sure Pokemon's always going to make cards that aren't well designed because they just make mistakes, and they made a mistake, and that happens. But I want to see them address that, and they've done like a decent job of addressing. They've done an okay job of addressing issues. Mostly, they've avoided like causing like blatant issues. I think they've and this is just like in terms of actual stuff going on with Pocket. Pocket's a game that's trying to do a lot of things, and um, every fan has stuff they don't want to see. So Pokemon's just kind of making sure their content is decent, and I think they've done a decent job of that. But they haven't necessarily put forth stuff that's truly pushing the boundaries. So they have done some. They've done some creative card designs, unique card arts. I guess that one's pretty big, and that is something that makes the game unique. And there has been some pushback because, as I said, there's things people are always gonna push back some about whatever, especially when you're a Pokemon, which is so big. But I would like to see Pokemon. They have done something that I think no one's really, you know, say anything particularly good about, and there's certainly a lot of criticism of, which is the Misty card, and I would like to see that honestly just like reworked. Obviously, don't just remove the character Misty from the game. That would be kind of unfortunate, but yeah, I think Misty just being reworked in some form would be something that it would be cool to see at some point, and also to show that Pokemon is willing to do that. And ultimately, it is a game that you are spending money on, and a lot of people are like, "Well, can you really just like make changes to these things?" But you're not buying specific cards. Well, that's not entirely true, but that's more or less true. So changing specific cards is, I think, fine for that reason. Then the other thing is trading. That's the second really important thing. Trading has been bad. I don't think it's been changed at this point. Pokemon did like essentially issue a letter of apology. That is good. I guess that they are, well, I don't know. Apologizing doesn't really like do anything. And they didn't even like admit to any faults either. They're like, we've heard feedback, which is like, I guess that's good, but regardless, they haven't, as far as I'm aware, done really anything about it yet. Which not that they have to immediately. They did introduce a system, and we're trying things out. And it's not a system that like you have to use, but it's a system that you right now can't really use. It's unfortunately kind of unusable because of its cost level. And maybe they don't want it to be something that's used much at all, but I think it could be done better. Right now, it's something that as a casual fan and a player who's playing for free. I guess I'm not a true casual fan by any means, but I'm certainly someone who's playing for free, and I'm a player of the game. I want to be able to acquire the lower rarity cards. And then if you're a serious collector, you want to be able to acquire the upper rarity cards, and there isn't really an issue accommodating either of them. I don't think there should be, but right now there's been an issue accommodating both of them where Pokemon hasn't added trading for the higher rarity cards, which I think makes a lot of sense to keep the players who are spending more money happier. I don't think there's really a reason not to do that. That's an upside. There are plenty of upsides. I mean, oh, the upside just like makes the game better because there's more stuff to do that allows you to get cards easier and isn't gonna like take a ton of money away from them. I don't think. Maybe if someone is pushing to complete a set and spending a bunch of money to do so, it's substantially easier to get those final cards. But um, ultimately, I think it will allow people to be happier and maintain a better um, relationship with the community. Though I don't think that's the reason why they should do it. I think they should do it because like obviously they should let you trade the cards. There's not really any other use for them. You could play them, you could show them off, and being rare is cool. But those like special cards could be like promos or maybe of literally the highest rarity, like the golden cards, which can actually be pulled from many packs. So they're a little different, but I definitely think it makes more sense to be able to trade the other rarities. Obviously, with trading, you also should be able to um, I guess like flag what cards you want to be able to see this easier and flag what you're looking for. And the game should ideally like automatically do some of this stuff, and it doesn't. The trading is pretty clunky, pretty difficult to navigate right now. And it's also kind of slow, which is kind of weird. There's a lot of stuff in Pocket that's a little bit slow, but trading definitely feels a little bit behind. Then there's also another issue that is, I think, I don't know if it's like a super serious one. I think it's decently serious and a decently easy fix for Pokemon, though I don't know. I'm not, really know about the behind the scenes stuff. I guess is what this would be categorized under is the deck limit. You can only have 15 decks. Looking at the metagame, there are certainly more than 15 decks I like to be able to try out. I don't own all these decks slash cards, so I won't be able to play all of them. But I don't think the reason I can't play them and switch between them when I like should be because the deck limit seems a little small. I understand Pokemon just doesn't like it. Pokemon TCG Live. I have all these decks that I don't use and don't remember exist, so I understand they don't want that happening, especially when it's taking up their space. But 15 is not a lot. I think it was enough for the first set. I think maybe five per pack seems right. I mean, one for each EX seems fair. Not that's exactly what you want, but right now. Like I find it really hard to justify being able to make a deck slot for Darkrai EX Ninja and Darkrai EX Magnezone because they're similar. They're both very good decks, but they're pretty similar, and you only got 15 slots, right? Then in terms of other issues I would like to see, this one's pretty random, and something I didn't think I was going to care about, and I don't care about that much, but I think it's a little weird. Is the backgrounds are pretty cluttered in the gameplay if you are using a playmat, and it's something that's a bit hard to like really I guess get and enjoy. I don't know. I haven't been paying too much attention to thoughts on this because this is something I almost never talk about or care about. But I was like the more interesting and unique art get like kind of cluttered together with the interesting backgrounds, and they are cool, but there's just sometimes too much stuff going on. I think the game without a background or without a playmat or whatever it's called looks decently good. I don't think it's bad by any means. It's a little plain, but the backgrounds are just like pictures. They're like pictures on a similar like level to the card arts, which is cool, I guess. But they take up right where all the Pokemon are, and they don't like move, but they have animations coming in and out, and it's not like that bad. It's not like it means that I can't play the game or anything like that, but it is something that I think could be um, addressed. Also, I would like to say about the trainer types. They've done supporters and items. A fan of the regular TCG. I would not mind seeing stadiums. We're not going to get them almost confirmed. We have tools which I think are cool. I don't think there should be fossils. And honestly, if I were to choose three of the four trainer types to bring over, I would not have brought over both items and supporters. They are actually very similar because you just kind of play them and they do a thing. They work differently. And in terms of the regular TCG, they're the two most played trainer types, but I still don't think you actually need both of them if they are trying to simplify the game down. And I think that could be something they could have cut. They could have just had one trainer type as well. There's, I guess, four. There is the fossils, which are kind of weird, which I don't think actually really have to be in the game. I wouldn't have minded just seeing them be like a regular Pokemon. Um, but I understand why they did what they did as well. And that also, and they could have just been under the general trainer category. And then the tools are like kind of similar to items and how they like function. Giant Cape is kind of similar to Blue, and then Rock Helmet is kind of like Giovanni. I've kind of said this; they're not really exactly the same. And then certainly Lumberry is a card that could just be an item. Um, the same item as Max or as what was it? Uh, as revive no, not revive, I don't remember. Or is it repel? I don't think that's it either. I don't remember the name of the item that removes special conditions in the regular TCG. I don't know if it's in standard or not. um because like I've never played it because it's not very good, but that could just be an item. And so I feel like they've added extra features, which are cool. I do like more stuff, but I understand Pokemon also wants to make things simpler, and I think this is a situation where they could have done that. Not that I'm actually asking them to remove supporters or items, and they are cool and make sense thematically, more sense than say tools versus items, but um, I still think that there is room to simplify some of the game, some parts of the game. Say remove some of the coin flips as well. I think that makes it simpler and more fun. The coin flips are whatever. They are a little too prevalent in some of the like really good cards. So I think I haven't really heard anyone love coin flips. I've heard a few people say good things about them. Um, but they're more fun as rogue cards. I think Celebi EX is a card that's kind of whatever. If it was a bit of a rogue deck, it would be fun, but it's not. Anyways, tell me down below in the comments what you think about my, I guess, proposed changes. They aren't necessarily things that I am desperately looking for a Pocket to add, but things that I think could be cool changes. Some of these things are things I really do want to see. And then near the end, I think they're just discussions and thoughts on the game. But tell me down below in the comments what you think about the game, what you want to see. But I hope you enjoy. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, all that good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.